Someone your own size when innocent creatures are so much easier to slaughter.
What a relief to share the burden of this impossible task. What a relief to share the burden of this impossible task.
That tone, soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gotten far.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Those men hold me so long for this world. Staying tender for so long.
Thank goodness the Source Hunter is here. I'm in desperate need of some insight.
Can't have gotten far.
We'll have none of that, you hear?
Little part. Those men hold so long for this world. Staying tender for so long. That tone, soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gotten far.
You there! Cut it out!
She'll realise soon enough that her little party tricks hardly make her worthy of such grave responsibilities.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous dangerous you've become.
Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have got far.
Boris? Steve, what do you think? Would you like to learn more about the patients before making a decision?
What's taking Tenderfoot so long? Little party tricks hardly make her worthy of such grave responsibilities.
Yes, a curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly abbot, Loic by name, in the northern town of Silver Glen. He is of a certain faith, the Immaculates they call themselves, that espouses the belief that certain stones can heal wounded flesh. I myself was nothing if not skeptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. A small cut on my finger instantly healed, leaving no trace of the wound. Needless to say, I was astounded. But it's strange. The stone is only good for a single use at a time before it reverts to a useless, inert state. It takes time to regain its magical properties, and I guard it cautiously. In this moment, I do believe I'm the most pain-stricken soul in Sicile. To choose so directly between two lives. Who am I to play the gods? What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so, and brought him here straight away. What would you like to know? Quite the venerable staple of Sicile, Stephen, and recently blessed with his third grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple, and only a few days shy of his last day of work before retirement, no less. Nearly everyone in Sicile is familiar with grinning Stephen, and, as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family. You are? Ah, I thank you a million. Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to save one man, but my heart breaks for the other.
Thank
No,
the sun.
no, this is highly abnormal. What is this? Lightning.
I don't know what I did to deserve it.
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone, somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible, terrible, terrible! It will consume us all! By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? Two Rivalonians here? At the end of space and time? How very, very, very curious. Oh, yes, proper introductions. Zigzags the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was and is and, hopefully, all that is to be. As for how I got here, well, for a historian appointed by the gods themselves, hopping to the end of time is as easy as 1, 2, 3. How you got here, though? That's a rather more interesting question. On such a tiny and rapidly shrinking vestige of space and time, I wouldn't have expected to find a soul but my own shadow. Ah, at last a question I can answer most definitively. I mentioned already that this place is the end of time. If that didn't send your heart into your stomach and your pulse a-flutter, it should have. Time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But something totally, utterly terrible has happened. Show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens and feast your soon-to-be terrified eyes on the darkness that is approaching.
You know, I think that imp may be quite mad.
Then we had better appease him and have a look through the looking lens.
you saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal has become active. Fantastic, astounding. Onward we should go.
More junk.
It's quite sprung to life, just like the long dormant flames that decorate this observatory. After all my waiting and hoping, could it be? You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here is causing the end of time to grow. The true end itself to move further away. Those torches, alight! This portal active once more! It cannot be. Goodness me, how right you are! There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been haunting my mind since I first discovered it. It is the void itself. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking out. It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here, hoping that one day this very portal would ignite. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it. Though I cannot say for certain if it is what I believe. In fact, every last question that ever plagued your noggin might well be answered, for I believe what lies beyond this portal is nothing other than... But why spoil the mystery? As soon as we leap through, we'll find out for certain. After you, after you. Oh, what wonders we may find on the other side. You first, but don't dilly-dally. through. You first, but don't dilly-dally. Yes, just as I hoped. There she is. There it is. Come, don't delay.
But he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
Could it be, milady? The weaver of time, mother of history, author of all that has ever been.
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicles all that I weave.
Astounding! Unbelievable! I have so many questions for you, so much to ask, so much to say.
You have brought guests, I see. Strange. Very strange guests.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time that instigated my finding you. But why? Surely you must know.
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plane? If any other being in Rivellon asked me about the details of their comings and goings, I could describe them down to the minutest of details. But you are different. Of you I see nothing. I know nothing. So please, do tell me, how did you arrive here? A stone. So, it was a stone that caused the great shock of energy that brought you here, and it infused you with new life as well. Not like this, no. What happened to you is never had I experienced something so contrary to my nature. But yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that stone.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all? Have you not woven all that is and could ever be into your tapestry?
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, but their likenesses source hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. It's true. Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What
mysteries of all time, gaps in history.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch, granting me new thread by which to mend the
I see. What the void...
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this Starstone is the If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will Indeed you must. Though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone...
Why, of course! That's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone, more and more by the day. Now I understand. They'd keep the stones from our reach. They'd prevent the...
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire tapestry will crumble.
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. First we mend the tapestry, then we stop the box. Please, our most mysterious guest, are you ready? Are you willing? So, what do you think, Source Hunter? So, what do you think, Source Hunter? Come, I got something for you if you're up to the challenge. Come, I got something for you if you're up to the challenge. So, what do you think, Source Hunter?
Not but a moment ago we were hunting Source in Rivellon, and now we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones. What do you make of it?
Say what Zigzags and the Weaver will. I need more evidence before I'll buy into this wild tale.
No matter how improbable, anything is possible. If the Weaver tells the truth, we have some serious work ahead of us.
What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell!
How welcome you are upon this realm, Amo. In the ethereal threads of eternity, do I record the deeds of gods and men, the drift of continents through changing seas, the rise and fall of empires, the shift of every grain of sand on every beach, the fall of every raindrop on every world, the all but imperceptible touch of lovers' hands. This and all I chronicle without fault. Except, it seems, you.
So, what do you think, Source Hunter? What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell! So, what do you think, Source Hunter? So, what do you think, Source Hunter?
Ask and I shall answer, if I can.
What do you think, Source
I
Hunter?
am the weaver of time, as I have told you. Though my existence is one that falls behind, I am but what I am, and that is task. It is the same for the historian. Chroniclers both are we of the epics of eternity. Perhaps we are one and the same. Task multiplied by 2. Who has made us? I do not know. Why have they done so? I do not know. Am I the beginning? And am I to be the end? Who shall say? Perhaps I am the first thing in creation. Alas, the answers to those questions. A hidden answer lies behind this veil of inscrutability that I believe that starstones will not lead you to new places of wonder only. No. They will also lead to new knowledge through the restoration. Oh, Hunter, I have no need for company. Like I have no need for air or appetite or affection. All I need and all I am is time. And time is running out unless you remedy its decline. And yet, I do enjoy your companionship. For you may prove to become the cure that will heal my slipping soul. Quite so. Your absence, it should be an impossibility, but no matter where I look, you cannot be found. I do not know you, which makes you my one perennial imperfection, a blind spot in the eye of time. But perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Perchance the blemish may be undone, and time can be redeemed. What it is but a seed bereft of sun and water. What it could be, that is what the star stones will tell us. What it is but the end. What it could be is the end of ends. I reside in another realm altogether. But ever since the end of time appeared in these deep dark skies, I materialized here, as if forced to watch the one thing that is unwatchable, unendurable. A thankless task that you may yet free me from forever.
So, what do you think, Source Hunter? What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell! Come! I got something for you if you're up to the challenge. So, what do you think, Source Hunter?
I think that perhaps you can redeem time, because you create time. Indeed, you have set in motion an event I no longer held possible. Know that no longer I did weave. I sat here at the end of time and watched on as the void frays the fabric of time like a terrified god that fears the offspring of his own creations. But suddenly there was you. You who stirred the life within the stones. These stones, children of stars. They place new ribbons along my fingers like phantoms out of time. New threads emerged, and I began to weave anew. Starstone gives me new strands to braid into the tapestry. And because you give Starstone energy, it seems that you are creating time. These Starstones, please, seek them so that time may yet be mended. Please, for the sake of all that lives and all that loves, seek them so that the void may yet devour itself alone.
What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell! What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell! What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell! So, what do you think, Source Hunter? Come! I got
How
something
might I
for you.
serve our mission? In the ethereal threads of eternity, the drift of continent. Except it's ask and I shall answer, if I can.
What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell!
I am the last chest, the last chest, the last chest! If you believe yourself worthy of rifling through my ample treasures, I do dare you to prove it! Find my 4 sisters, no more than one in each of the realms of your wide world, and each by each, you'll discover how to open me!
What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell. your gaze and the set of your brow suggests to me that you know with you searching out Starstone, I believe we'll mend the tapestry in no time. We'll find out just who you are and how exactly to send the void back to wherever it came from. But you'll need a way to travel between Rivellon and this homestead, won't you? Who wouldn't want to see what fantastic changes your search will yield? And who knows what the Weaver might discover about you? Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport back and forth from the end of time. Just, you know, don't go sharing it around. Never know who we can trust these days. Off you go, then. You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue here as to how on earth you're related to the end of time.
Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void, I honestly don't know.
Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot! Neither do I, but the mere fact that activated Starstone has set this in turn more than implies that you are the Void's natural enemy, for it is you who is setting new events in motion. You who is handing... We may not understand the how yet, but our aim is clear. We shall save creation from the grip of the void. Now, isn't that, wouldn't it just? Would that I had a star... Just like yourselves, starstones are curiously absent from From what I can gather, though, they were once cherished by devious sorcerers. Ruins, caves, the lairs of long-forgotten evils. Those are the dens you should frequent. 2 more pieces of advice. Don't go unarmed, and consult with my agent. Oh, I don't know if I'm more than those things per se, but having been given a divine mission does have its perks. Old age can't touch me, that's one. Immortality is mine as long as no one skewers me with a sword. And even then, I'll be back in a jiffy. But of course, I have a price to pay for something that is priceless. It is my duty to record all of history, and an arduous task that is. Not to mention how much stress that void out there is causing me. The end of time. I'll be out of a job. So, gather those starstones so that we may know the history that was lost. Know so that we must not repeat what leads us to this lonesome, observing the frontier of creation, surfing the vibrant tide of the eons, always approaching yet never reaching shore. Lonesome, being privy to all that has been and all that is. Well, yes, actually. I don't mean to complain, but one certainly doesn't mind a bit of company now and then. Perhaps you can imagine the profound pleasure it is to have made the Weaver's acquaintance after all these years. I can hardly wait to pick her brain about the great battle of the sons of Sigurd. The last Rivellonian who remembers it died more than 7,000 years ago. Source Hunter, a final word. Once you return to Rivellon, there will be someone waiting for you. My agent, my eyes and ears upon your world. I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can. Time, I need hardly remind you, is of the essence.
It shall be my pleasure, Sir Imp. I'll embroider it in the first volume of your all-encompassing chronicles.
I wonder, do you know more about the Void? What it is? What lies at the heart of it?
What lies at its heart? Why, nothing, of course. The great absence of all that even the gods cannot comprehend. It eludes us, like infinity, or the finality of tick-tocking time.
To see you on the shelter plane. A home away from home, is it not? Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot! Neither do I, but the mere fact that activated Starstone has set the Weaver of Time weaving again, this in turn more than implies that we may not understand the how yet, but our aim. A question has
How might I serve our mission? My pleasure, Sir Imp. I'll embroider it in the first volume of your all-encompassing chronicles.
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have found a shelter, wouldn't you agree? Where you can come to no harm. I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the alliance between me and Sir Zigzags, let us turn to the business at hand. Starstone. So it is, and so it should continue to be. For I suspect his foul murder and the plight of dying time are somehow interconnected. Dark webs are being woven around these parts, and it is my firm belief starstones are the flies the sorcerer spiders are trying to catch. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of the stones we seek. That means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake, for you're bound to stumble upon Starstone along the way. While you were being lectured by our friend the historian and the grande dame of time, I snuck into his house and had a look around. The advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. And sometimes the lady of the house even rewards you with a slice of fresh herring. That's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of starstones nonetheless. They lay there, silent and innocent. Don't we all long for a sanctuary where our worldly troubles can be held at bay? A bed or a basket so snug it becomes, in a word, safety. But perhaps I speak only for myself, not for veterans such as yourselves that by necessity call any patch of ground they rest upon home. Like any cat worth its salt, though, I deeply cherish a secret refuge unbeknownst to anyone. Let me phrase it like Zigzags might. A universe without time is like a pen without ink. A pointless instrument stripped of the potential of creation. I'll not pretend to have all the answers, or that I understand all that is happening here and out there among the stars, but I do know I'd rather err on the side of caution. If Zigzags worries, I worry. We are talking about a creature, after all, that has reclined among the divines as nonchalantly as you and I lays beside the hearths of home. I met him first, a long time ago, out in the wastes of Youthful Gore. He wondered aloud what on earth a cat was doing out there in the scorching desert, then shared what little food and water he had with him. So I told him who I was and showed him my human form. He laughed and marveled and told me stories about his travels. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. The unspeakable thing you saw through his looking lens. I was all... Oh, before you go, here, take this teleporter pyramid. A handy toy indeed that Zigzags asked me to give to you. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but alas, I seem to have misplaced it. Don't worry, though. Use this one here, and it'll take you straight to its twin. Now that this matter has been settled, hunters, I shall detain you no longer. But rest assured, I'll do my share of hunting, too.
Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah.
Those men hardly sound long for this world. What's taking tender for so long? Those men hardly sound long for this world. What's taking tender for so long? Now, that tone, soothing a corpse's troubled mind, can't have gotten far.
What do you think? Would you like to learn more about the patients before making a decision? Don't dither long. These men are slipping What do you think? Would you like to learn more about the patients before making a decision? You are? I thank you. Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to save one man. My heart breaks for the other.
Oh, I know it's here somewhere.
No, this is highly unusual. What is this? This is lightning.
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone, somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible, terrible, terrible! It will consume us all! By
Now,
the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? 2 Rivalonians here? Your guess is a quite good timing. Oh, but what about... Tell me, Tash.
It may be quite mad.
then we had better...
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal? You, those talk. It is. It's not there. But you first. You. Yes. Just as I hoped. There she is. There it is. Come, don't delay.
And he's off.
The last test, the last...
Could it be, Millie?
Indeed.
You
but not never
but madam
last and
miss
it
I
if in
what would that be? What it be?
Not but a moment ago we were hunting Source in Rivellon, and now we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time.
Say what Zigzags and the Weaver will. I need more evidence before I'll buy into this wild tale.
No matter how improbable, anything is...
What it be, Source Hunter? Do tell. What it be, Source Hunter? Do tell. So, what do you think, Source Hunter? What it be, Source Hunter? Do tell.
How welcome you are upon this realm, our most honored guest. I hope you begin to find this place more familiar than it may yet seem.
So, what do you think, Source Hunter? What it be, Source Hunter? Do tell. Come, I got something for you if you're up to the challenge. So, what do you think, Source Hunter? What it be, Source Hunter? Do tell. So, what do you think, Source Hunter? What it be, Source Hunter? Do tell. Come, I got something for you if you're up to the challenge.
I have the last test.
Source Hunter. The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me that you've not given up on our dear old Rivellon. Not just yet. No, with you searching out stars, but like wouldn't it? Like wouldn't it just? Would that I had a stop from this week, but said like wouldn't it just from this week, but said like the imps would just from this week, but said like wouldn't it just from this week, but said like the imp said to the ballista operator, like wouldn't you from this week? Oh, but I'm so lonesome. Well, perhaps good to see you on the shelter plane.
How might I serve in the and yet...
A question has me stumped, milady. Why are there two of us? Two beings that record all of history parallel to one another.
That is a good question, Zigzags. One without a conclusive answer, though its resolution may lie in conception. Where you chronicle, I both chronicle and create. Where you arrive at conclusions, I spin origins besides.
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have found a shelter, wouldn't you agree? Where you can come to no harm.
Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is. Run away? Ah, there it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? Run away? Run away? My pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? Did it sprout legs and run away? Did it sprout legs and run away? pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. My pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah. Run away? Ah, pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? There it Where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? There it is. Pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? There it legs and run away? There it Did it sprout legs and run away? There it is. My pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? There it is. and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Run away? Ah, yeah. Run away? Ah, yeah. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. run away? Did it sprout legs and run away? Where's my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? There it is. Did it sprout legs and run away? There it is. My pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? There it is. Did it sprout legs and run away? and run away? Ah, yeah. Run away? Ah, yeah. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is.
I know the imp historian has told you about his age, and I'll be delighted. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence. That means the task you have been given remains crucial. While you were being lectured by the advantage of being a cat, that's where I saw them in a cabinet. Don't we all long for... But perhaps, like any cat worth its salt, though, let me phrase it like Zigzags might. I'll not pretend to have all the answers, or that I understand. If Zigzags worries, I worry. I met him first. So I told. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. Before you go, here. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but now that this matter has been settled, hunters, I shall detain you no longer. But rest assured, I'll do my...
Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah.
Good look out there, Hunter. Evil lurks beyond Seal's ramparts.
Legionnaire, at your service. You don't look like you're quite ready to head out into the undead-infested wilds to me. Also, a party of 1 or 2 runs the risk of being outflanked and outnumbered. I'd bring some thank you for heeding my words of warning.
Oh, hum. More junk. Bah!
Pay the big cheese on your block for the wheel of the good stuff.
Speak that way to us. Well, suffice to say it, I've got my eye on you guys.
your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Be the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff. Not in the mood for cheese. No excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Join the Spud Club if you got an eye for farm potatoes.
Not in the mood for cheese. No excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Oh, you think you can speak that way to her? Well, if I can say it, I've got my
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scratch salt.
Not in the mood for cheese. No excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear. Not in the mood for cheese. No excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scratch salt.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scratch salt.
Join the Spud Club if you got an eye for farm potatoes.
Be the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Don't scuttle away before you've tried some of the ocean's finest.
That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until he's... Thank you for making that would-be thief see reason. I only hope you...
Good luck with these Sicilian sauce, Hunter.
Problem than a set of silver arrows.
Not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine almond there.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Paid a big cheese on your mug with a wheel of the good stuff.
Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine almond there.
Sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
No better solution to the shopping problem than a set of silver arrows. Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine almond there.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Well, hello there.
Heavenly County, delicious sausage. Yours for a scrap gold.
Not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine almond there.
Get it while it's fresh. These batch is only hours from the sea.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sicilia's ever seen.
Not in the mood for cheese.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
No better solution to the shopping problem than a set of silver arrows.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Well, hello there.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
You there, cut it out.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese.
That's enough of that now.
What, does the ground turn to glue when you've been naughty around here?
Herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's
And now a
cheese,
stern chastisement in 3, 2...
Fresh haddock, moving for fire.
Falling like a rat here.
On the move for cheese. That excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
A good day to you.
Hello, proportionate one. I'm a painter by trade, as you can see, but a cartographer at heart. I travel around Andervale, mastering my craft and finding new subjects to add to my litany of luck. How lovely to see you again, haver of the beautifully shaped shoulders.
Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Any takers? Come on,
If only
you
the
chickens.
popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Made a big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
How lovely to see you again, haver of the beautifully shaped shoulders.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine. Ah, gracious patron, I see your tired eyes looking a bit teary. I've just the potion for that. Or would you prefer a toasty fire spell to dry those vapours?
There's as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Ain't a big cheese on your book for the wheel of the good stuff.
Well, hello there.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer, then. Closer? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you. Jake? Murdered, you say? Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Now I remember. Well, I'm sure the facts will prove me innocent. Keep investigating. You'll see for yourselves in time. My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Sicil, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Sicil through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed. Oh, what? Oh, you mean Sicil? Very, the undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making up. That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect. And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought. A weapon called the Staff of Pergamon. Jake? Murdered? Oh, yes. Yes, now I recall. Indeed, most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, as you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrol was always a bit, such an all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Sicil is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Counselor. What of what now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish. Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon. Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo, Cecil proved an old fool, though. For the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me. His name is Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Sicil harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved, if you don't mind. The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk. What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years, those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. Well, I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose you see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather nice, well, rather more than nice, they occasionally, well, they, Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the 7th sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Sicil's under siege by orcs, undead, and cult. No, all my clothes are in fine condition, thanks. I've been going to the same tailor for years. That depends. What kind of berry? Ah, the library. Yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of Sicil. Marvelous.
Meow.
What? Oh, yes. This library is the jewel in Sicil's crown, the beacon of culture and learning in our fair city. My Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine, and she's got every speck of information about this. Yes, Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of claws and teeth I adopted. What? Oh, yes. I'll be on my way back downstairs now. Please introduce yourself. I know Victoria.
Demonium. I know it by heart.
Kajdinar. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned.
The lesser key
Fellow
of
will have to pay yet another
Salagandras.
fine.
What nonsense. Omnes autem mali demones. What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps I was mistaken. For you. No. A source hunter. That is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery, a chaser of charms pernicious. Why? Simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. Should I not, I'd have been decimated, body and soul, long since.
The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stentiken.
This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. Let there be strength in cunning, yes, but on one condition. That on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities, no matter how tempting their propositions. Give me your word on this, and I'll weave you spells.
The history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine.
Very well. There will be no deals with demons.
The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stentiken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she?
Agreed. Nothing good ever came from bargaining with those devils anyway.
Most gratifying. I see you are firm of purpose and thereby ready to descend. Descend into the madness that is sorcery, into the depths where demons dance. Gladly shall I follow you into the abyss. Onward, blood and triumph await.
The knight in Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Sternticken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? In the name of Amun-Hor, I bid thee Tujda Geta Hal, be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friend... I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicile toward this. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amun-Hor, dearest, he raised me like I was his own. This kindest of souls. Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hold is yours to peruse and even take with you. The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Sternticken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Volume 1, Volume 2, but where's the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Volume 1, Volume 2, but where's the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
See-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Sternticken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Denor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Celeron will have to pay yet another fine. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where's the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where's the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where's the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Sternticken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? See-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Sternticken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? place this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Ugh, what mayhem. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Kajjanor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been written. You there, cut it out. Jageta, friend. Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hold is yours. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night.